folks, welcome back to the channel. If this is your first time with us, we sure are glad you found us, and if you've seen some of our other videos, we're glad you're back. If you watched our last video, we did a micro blade rage bladed jig for crappie. Well, come to find out, the bass think it's just as tasty as the crappie do. I have a good friend of mine, he and his son have been using some of them pretty frequently and been catching the bass on them quite handily. They've asked for a specific color, so that's what we're going to do today, this new color. So thanks Dustin and Jaden for the idea of this new color pattern. Well, there's nothing left for us to do now, but let's get to tying. All right, folks, let's get to our material list. First thing right off the bat, I've got a 1/8 ounce. This is the SDG bladed jig head. I poured it with mold from Epic, and it's on the number 2 34007 Mustad hook. And then the paint that I have on the head, this is a Nova Stone paint from Barlows. It's called Tequila Sunset. I've seen Adam use it, I think, on his channel. But this is my first time to use it, and I'm gonna tell you, it looks amazing. The camera just doesn't do it justice. But absolutely love this this paint. The next thing we're gonna put on is some silicone Chartreuse skirt. This came from fishingskirts.com. This is their bright chartreuse fish scale. We'll only be using 2 strands of this, and you'll see as we get into the build. And then the next skirt material is this. This came from Barlows. It's in the ZM skirt layers, and it's Junebug. It's the first time I've used it. I wasn't really sure what I thought about it, just looking at it on the pictures on their website, but I'm here to tell you, man, this looks good in person. And once you get it all on this build, it looks great. So that's the skirt from Barlows. I've got some chartreuse eyes that we're going to be putting on it. And then, as usual, we're using a 210 denier flat wax nylon in black. Then from there, we'll be putting our blade on, and I got my cheat sheet here to make sure I say this right, but this is the extra small. It's bent. That is important with this build. It needs to be bent. It's the 20 millimeter size. We've got a number 1 or size 1 duo snap. I hope you can see this on the camera, but we'll be putting that on the blade. And then also we'll be putting a wire keeper. This is a WB 400. Let me get to see both ends of it. But just like last time, we'll be cutting this end of it off. So that's it for the material list. So let's get to tying. All right, so let's get this started. So first thing we're going to do is lay down our thread base. We're going to start at the head, get some good tight wraps. I'm going to cut this tag off, and then I'm going to take this thing all the way back to just a little bit past the hook point. Then we're going to bring it all the way back up to the head. I'm getting some good tight wraps on here. And now we want to start off with our chartreuse. So this is going to be on the top. So we need to make sure the jig is turned over like it's going to be running through the water. I'm just going to lay this right up on top. I'm going to put me about 3 loose wraps on. That's 3 wraps. Get everything all straightened up. I'm going to squeeze it real tight, and then I'm going to pull on it. You got to be really careful here. You can pull this so tight that you'll cut these 2 strands of silicone. But then I'm going to make me about 3 or 4 wraps on it to make sure it stays right there where I want it. We're going to turn him over. And then I've got 12 strands of the Junebug skirt already cut. And we're going to lay it right on top, or on top of the jig the way it is now. But it doesn't matter because we're going to spread it all the way around. So just going to hold it in place. And just like before, we're going to get about 3 loose wraps. Make sure I got it all spread around. And it's also important to put this chartreuse on first, because once you flip it over and it's running through the water, I want this on top so it doesn't get hidden. But now we got good coverage all the way around. I'm going to slide my thread all the way up to the head so we can get all the room that we can possibly have. I'm going to squeeze it again and pull him down tight. I can pull pretty snug this time, but you still got to be careful because we don't have a lot on here, so you can cut them. And I'm going to make me about 3 or 4 wraps just to hold it, and then we're going to clip it all down to try to wrangle it up and keep it where it's supposed to be. I'm going to put that there. Twist these up. After making over 100 of these over the last couple of weeks, I've kind of found different ways to make it a little easier, and this is one of them. I twist it, ball it up, and wrap it right there. So then we're going to go ahead and finish out. I'm going to just get some tight wraps, take it all the way back up to the head, check it real quick, make sure I don't have any trapped. That looks really good. And now we're going to get some good tight wraps to cinch it down, make sure it's not rolling around on the hook, and make sure it stays in place. And I'm going to whip finish right here with 4 loops. 3, 4. And then this is another thing that I'm doing a little bit differently than the last time. After, like I said, after doing well over 100 of these, I've learned some different ways. So I'm going to hang my bobbin back here. I'm going to go ahead and cut this down here. And then I'm looking to see exactly where that thread comes between the strands and get those separated off to each side. And I turn it where you can see it. Now you can see that thread is right between it. There's nothing in the way. So we're going to tie all this back down again, and we're going to finish this out. I did this a little differently last time, but this seems to work a lot better for me doing it like this. It just seems to save time and just seems to work a little bit better. So let's get him up here. And I'm going to make about 3 or 4 wraps again. Good tight wraps. And we're just going to stop right there for a minute. And now we're going to come over here and get our WB 400 wire keeper. So I'm just going to cut just the end of this off. I'm leaving just cutting off maybe 1/8 of an inch of it. Now got that cut off. I'm going to put just a dab of super glue here to help hold it in place while I'm putting the thread on it. I'll spread that around. And now we're going to lay this this wire keeper right on top of the hook shank. I'll lay it up there, try to get it as straight as I can. I'll put me about 3 or 4 more wraps on it, make sure it's where I want it. Hopefully you can see it's a little bit crooked, so I want to straighten that up a little bit. Now we got it. And now I'm going to wrap all the way back, and I'm cranking down on it pretty tight so you can see that jig head moving, but I want some good tight wraps on this. I'm going to take it all the way back to the bend in this wire keeper, and then we're going to secure it in with about 4 or 5 wraps behind it. Uh-oh. And now come back up about midways. And we're going to finish it off with the loop again, the loop finish. There we go. I got 4 wraps. It broke off, but the good thing is, if there's a good place for it to break off, this is where it is at the end. That's the best place. I'll trim that off. And now we'll seal it with some water-based head cement. Now that we got that, we're just going to cut the ends off. There we go. Now I'm going to capture all this back with another clippy, and we'll move on and get some eyes put on this bad boy. So we got him clipped. I'm going to take my eyes and I get my bodkin, get that eye on the bodkin, set it right in there. I want to move it around till I get it right in the middle. That looks good. We're going to do the same thing on this side. Again, we don't put any super glue on it because I'm going to put some UV resin on it. Got it in the middle. Give it a little squeeze, and there we go. I'm not sure what this is. There we got some kind of thread or something. There we go. Got that out of there. All right, now we're ready to put our UV resin. And we're just going to put a little dot on here. Tiny little dot. Going to spread him around. Make sure we got it all the way covered and got it over onto the head so it stays in place nice and tight. And we're going to get some UV light on it just for a few seconds. Just enough to keep it from running, making sure it stays where we want it. And we're going to do the same thing on the other side. Now all that's left with this part of the build is to trim our skirt off. I just want to remind you again, when you're working with these silicone skirts, if you pull it tight and cut it where you want it, it's going to be short because it's going to spring back. So I let it have a little bit of slack, and then I'm going to cut him off right about there. And there we have the tying part done. So we're going to put this in the UV box, and then we'll be back and put the blade on it. Okay folks, while we're waiting on that to come out of the UV box, I decided to go ahead and show the steps that I go through to put the blade on. Hoping that you can see this in the camera. So this is our Duo Snap. First thing I want to do is open this up. And this is an important step. So we need to bend this little hook here. We need to bend it just a little bit. I'm going to put a little bit more. I'm hoping you can see that. So we bent that. If you don't do that, it's very, very, very hard to get it in the blade. The other really important thing is to make sure the bend is, make sure the bend of the blade is going in the same direction as this hook is. So we're going to come in this top hole, put it through. We're going to turn him over. I'm struggling here, and we'll put him back through. Here we go. And we'll shove this one through that second hole. If you don't bend it, it won't fit through that hole, or it's very, very difficult to get it through there. And then we just snap him back together, and this bad boy is ready to go on the jig head. So we got it out of the UV box and we're ready to put the blade on it. The first and most important thing, or at least for me to do, is to turn this jig up like it's going to be running through the water. That way I don't put it upside down and Adam's not screaming at his screen telling me it's upside down, which did happen on the very first one of these I did a video on, but fortunately I caught it. So I'm going to put it on just like it's coming through the water. I'll put that in the bottom hole, and this is the way he's going to come through the water. That's right. The bend is right back bending towards the hook point. So now we've got it where we want it. And now all that's left to do is give him a little squeeze. Squeeze it down. You also want to make sure that it closes all the way up. If it's not closed all the way up, your liner can tangle in there. It can catch grass or things like that. But so there we have it. We have it tied. We have the build. Now all we need to do is build us something to put on the back of this. So let's get to it. All right, folks, so we have our first cup of plastic heated up. I actually got the other one heated up, but it's just off the screen. So we're going to start off with the top on this one. And this is the LureWorks Black. That's what we're going to start off with. We're going to start off with 20 drops. All right, that's our 20. We'll get that mixed up in here. I want it to be pretty dark because the tail is going to be a little bit thin, and I hopefully will be able to see the lamination even in the tail, but we'll see how it turns out when we get there. And then the next step is going to be the emerald green. There we go, emerald green. That's from LureWorks, and this is the 0.040. We're going to put a quarter in here. And then we're going to put the fun stuff in just a minute. So let's get this mixed up, see what that looks like. That's looking pretty good. Oh yeah, look at this. I like it, I like it, I like it. But now we're gonna put the good stuff in here, the fun stuff. It's all good stuff, but this is the fun stuff. This is from 8-Bit Baits, and it's the June Bug, the pixie dust. If I can get it open. There we go. We're just going to put 1/32 of a teaspoon in here. It's a healthy 1/32. But man, look at this color coming already. That looks so good. Get her all mixed up. Man, can you see that? Not really, I don't think, but look at that. I get mesmerized by it. Man, that looks good. And that's all of it for that cup. So let's swap them out here. And now we're going to go with the LureWorks Violet. There we go. And we're going to start with 5 drops. I've messed with this a little bit, and it seems to be pretty powerful. So I'm going to start with 5 right off the bat, because I want it to be a little bit translucent. Oh, this looks good. And you may be wondering, well, why didn't you just use the June bug? But I was really, it's got June bug skirt in it, but that Nova Stone head looks amazing. And that's really what I was trying to go for and trying to match. And this does really well. So I've got some gold, and this is the 040. We're going to do the same. We're going to do a quarter with it. And then I've got the yellow gold, and this is the 0.015. We're only going to do an eighth of it. We'll get this in here and see what this looks like. I don't want it to be super translucent, but I also didn't want it to be super dark, or opaque rather. And it does seem to get pretty opaque. But, oh boy. Man, this is gonna look good. Let's see. I'm gonna have to put them back in for just a minute, and then we'll be back to pour. I'm gonna get a full draw because I want to see what this is gonna look like in that sleigh bait as well. So I'm just gonna pull up all I can get out of it, and hopefully I'll have enough to shoot at least a couple of those others. I'm gonna get the bubbles out. All right, we got the bubbles out. Let's see what we got over here now. I'll do a little purge. Whoo! Wow. Man, that looks amazing. Well, they've cooled off, and now this the time of reckoning. Let's see what this looks like. But first, let's see. This is the 3-inch Crappie Slayer from Epic. I'm a little bit worried about it because I wasn't paying attention, and this thing was drawing way more than I thought it was. It's pretty hot out here in the shop, but what I didn't think about is these have been sitting inside in the air conditioning all day, so they were pretty cold. So let's see what's going to happen. See if I can figure out how to do this. Which way? Yep, okay. Let's turn this down here. Oh, that back looks amazing. It's exactly what I was hoping for. I can see all the shine from the pixie dust. Let's see what the bottom side looks like. Okay, good. I was afraid that they may have gotten air in them, but they look good, feel good. And then here we go with that purple and gold. Man, this looks good. Let's look at it, see if you can see it here. I hope you can see that, but man, this looks amazing. When we get them inside, I'll take some really good pictures. And then now I want to see what the 3.3 sleigh bait looks like. This is the Epic 3.3 sleigh bait mold. Let's see. Which way are they going to come out? I have done it again. I don't know why. I rarely ever do this, but it seems like every time I do this on video, I shoot them backwards. I don't know why I do that. But it looks good. If we can get it to focus. There we go. And it looks good. It's just upside down, but you know what? These are going in my tackle box, and I'm going to fish them just like that. We'll get them inside, though, and make some good-looking pictures of them. Well, folks, that's a wrap on another one. We got our micro blade rage jig built, finished, got the soft plastic poured, got it ready to go fish, and hope Dustin and Jaden enjoy it. Just a little secret, I've made a couple of these, took some to Caddo Lake, and they work. So all I got to say to y'all now is, y'all get to fishing.